Good morning, folks.
Good morning.
Now, Linda's not in the best of moods because she's got a toothache. It's not a bad mood, but she's in pain. She's got really bad toothache, so she's not going to say a lot. Anyway, hopefully we can get that sorted. We had a lovely night last night, but this morning woke up to rain, and it stopped, then it was more rain. Forecast is wet, forecast is all day tomorrow rain. At least it's not bitterly cold, I suppose. So we're leaving the village of Zouch. Or how do they pronounce it, the locals? I can't remember now. Zoch. As in Ashbydilla Zouch, but Zoch, the locals call it. And we've already gone through one lock, but we're moored just before. And we're going to see where we can get to today. Hopefully we'll get to the junction of the Trent and the Erewash. And go up the Erewash, but we'll see. If it rains, we'll just moor up. I'm no desire to get soaking wet. And we might have to find an emergency dentist yet, we'll see. It's taking ibuprofen, fingers crossed. Came on suddenly, hope it goes suddenly, who can tell? Oh well. So I'm in a huge lock, 7'9", but it's not just the depth, it's really wide and really long. There must be millions of gallons of water in here. Absolutely huge. But look at that sill. You want to get stuck on there, would you? She's done well moving that thing.
It's high up here.
So behind me, you can see Ratcliffe Power Station. Big coal-fired power station that doesn't get used very much these days. We've just come through a lock and it's really, really windy. We're approaching the junction of the Trent and River Trent and the Erewash Canal. It's a four-way junction coming up. We're going to go straight on up the Erewash, I think it's pronounced. Erewash. The only trouble is this wind is a nightmare. I mean, narrow boats can be a bit tricky to steer, but when you've got massive side wind just blowing you everywhere, it's very hard. If you get to the side to get into the lock, you can't get off the side if you're on the wind side, wherever wind's blowing you. We're approaching the junction for the Trent, and look how wide this is. Just come around that corner there, out onto here, and we'll join the River Trent at a crossroads very shortly. Straight on is the Erewash, which I think is that bridge straight ahead, Linda. One with a big arrow on it saying Erewash Canal, do you reckon that's it? Using my deduction powers. So, there's the Trent off that way. No, it's not, no, the Trent's off to the right here, off that way. And we're going to go up the Erewash and back, and when we come back we'll go that way down there, off to our left at the moment. And although it's been quite fun on the river, with this strong wind it's not really been brilliant, has it, Linda? So yeah, you can see now. River
there's my Christmas present.
Hold on, I'm being blown everywhere.
Never mind about that, there's my ready type jag for my Christmas present.
Yeah, in your dreams. So there's the River Trent and Norfolk sign, as you can see. Erewash straight on. When we come back, look how wide this is. I hope the winds drop when we come back. Actually looking forward to getting on a canal again. So here we are. Turning onto the Erewash, damaged wall, keep right. I've got no choice in this wind. Blimey. Should be shielded a bit here. So there we go. So we're on Erewash and we got through the first lock and pulled over here to the services. Used a few of the boater services. A lovely cafe just down there. And we had a cup of tea and a sandwich. Very nice. And about ready to crack on now. So we're on Erewash. Linda's toothache's been quite bad enough to find a dentist tomorrow, which is unfortunate. And I've not filmed the whole lot because it's been so windy, been blown all over the place. But anyway, we're sort of out of quite a rough area to start with. It's all right, but it wasn't anything special. And Just up the road here, the next little village, next town, there's a big dentist with 5 dentists on, so Lynn's going to try and get an appointment tomorrow. But in the meantime, we're at the lock. You have a special key for all these locks, vandal-proof locks, supposedly. So it takes a little bit longer than you would normally. Well, anyway, Linda's up there now. I've just been down the weed hatch, clearing out the prop. Weren't too bad, actually. And then we'll be off again. So we've done 3 locks on the Erewash, I think it is, and it's not been brilliantly exciting. There's some old mills and old mill chims you can see. It's a very old-fashioned industrial area, lots of terraced housing and stuff like that. And it's been pleasant, but there's been a lot of weed around my prop. To be honest, you look in the canal, it don't look too bad. It looks quite deep and quite nice. But my God, I've picked some weed up. I've been down the weed hatch twice and just pulled out enough stuff at the end of the day to fill a bucket. Absolutely full it was. Stink when I was trying to get all this stuff out. I was clambering in right up to my chest almost. Anyway, Linda's still got rotten toothache. We're going to find the dentist tomorrow, and we'll see how it goes tomorrow. So that's it for tonight. We'll hunker down, probably have a drink and see how it goes. Well, here we are on the Erewash Canal. It's blowing a bit of a gale again.
It's not been the best of weathers. We've had rain, little bit of shine, rain, wind.
Chucked it down this morning. To be fair, the weather forecast looked like we wouldn't go out all day. On the good side, Linda's toothache's abated. So we were hoping, well, we were thinking she had to find a
emergency dentist.
But it's been okay, hasn't it? It's been completely gone. So God knows what happened there. Oh. Anyway, the Erewash Canal. Erewash. My first thoughts, I'm not a happy bunny. I just didn't want to get on here for some reason. I must have read something about it. And I had a bit of a wobbler this morning. I'm a bit of a stress head. But to be fair, how many times have you been down a weed hatch?
Well, let's see. Once to get the towel out, then the second time. Oh no! First to get the weeds out.
And that was out.
That was this morning.
And it was enough weed to fill a sink last night.
Yeah, that was good.
And then hold on. This morning we done 100 yards, and they picked up something else, and that was the
towel.
Only a small bit of a towel, but it was a towel.
Then
got to the next lock, and it was the
rope.
Yeah, we didn't get very far. We weren't quite at the next lock. We had to go along on, the engine's straining, doing about half a mile an hour.
Then we had more weeds.
And we got him to the lock, one of the locks. And as I went in, having just cleared it out, dug, all kinds of noise out the back. And I'd picked up a plastic bag.
So that's good.
But it's a weed-ridden canal. It's so much weed on here. To be fair, it's better at this top half, isn't it?
Yes, but I've never seen so many cans and plastic bottles as I have a lot. I usually very rarely see rubbish. There's lots of rubbish in these ones. They're not very loved canal, I don't think.
No, and also the moorings. There's a few, but when it keeps chucking it down, you need to sort of find yourself a mooring. The bank, you can probably see behind me now. Have a and I'll turn around and show you where we're going. That's the kind of bank you've got. So you can't just think, oh, we'll pull in while it's raining. There's just nowhere to get in. Turn back round.
And also, some people seem to think, there's no mooring, so it's okay to just put my boat here, right where the mooring
lock landing. Yeah,
and go away for the day.
One boat. There's one. Most of them have got quite big lock landings. There was one with just one boat space, and there was a boat there moored up, no owner, all closed up, gone for the day. Anyway, to be fair,
there's 2 things I'd like: some grease on some of the actual lock mechanisms, because I'm fairly strong
quicker
and I'm fairly good at it, and I've got a long handle as well as a short handle thing. And even I have not been able to open them. I've been standing on them and not having much luck. Adrian and I have actually turn them together. And also, I don't know why they bother with these anti-vandal locks, because nearly everyone has not been locked up. Most of them seem to have been taken off already, so they might as well just take the lot off. Or maybe they just make lots of money on
Selling
selling
keys.
people the keys that they don't need.
And so I had a bit of a wobble this morning, I happily admit, and we had words, didn't we, Linda?
He didn't want to do it.
Linda's determined to get to the end. I was very unhappy. I had to keep going down the weed. Actually, the side was disgusting. Anyway, we overcame that. It got a bit wider after 2 locks, and although I was desperate to turn around, there ain't any wind in holes anyway. Once you're on here, you're on for good.
And then the worst thing that could possibly happen to my delightful husband is dog doodah at the lock landing.
So I jumped out the lock, out onto the lock landing, and did what I had to do with the lock. And I thought it's a strange smell around here, and then noticed on the top of my shoe, on the lace of my shoe, on the trouser leg of my jeans, and smeared everywhere on the bottom was you know what. The smell was disgusting, and Linda will know I hate dogs. If you're a dog owner, sorry, or a dog lover, that's fine, we're all allowed to have our loves and hates. I am really not a big fan of dogs, and
even worse is if you have a dog, please clean up after it, particularly at lock landings, because people, and near water taps as well, because that's
yeah, and before you comment and say it's not the dog, it's the owner, I agree. But
so owner, please pick up after your dog.
Anyway, it looks like it's going to rain again. We're finally on the last page of a book once we're through this bridge, I think. That's another...
We've got 5 locks to get to.
3 hours to the end, turn round and get back. Anyway, if you fancy doing the Erewash, don't be put off by us.
I bet you if it was sunny it would be a lot different.
No. Well, we finally made it to the end of the canal, and we're at Langley Mill, and I'm not impressed again. This is the basin at the end where we're supposed to be mooring, and you can see there's a fair bit behind me, private mooring, and there's a big gates up there, private mooring only, and there's 2 little spots here where we are, which sort of not far off being the lock mooring, although there's one opposite, so it's not the end of the world. Yeah, bit hard work that was. Bumped into a couple of families from Australia in that boat behind us, and that was really handy because they were coming up the locks with us, and it made it a lot easier because some of these locks are quite tricky. So yeah, we got here, and yeah, I think when I leave here I'll never come up the canal here ever again. Anyway, so we'll see what Linda thinks of this. Okay, Linda, my thoughts on this canal, I think I've made clear.
I think you've made those clear.
Be honest.
There were some very nice parts.
Okay, I'll ask Linda which bit of that was.
Some of the countryside was very pleasant when you looked at it.
Well, you couldn't see a lot, we're in a deep valley, we only saw the edges. But anyway.
Anyway, the people we met were nice, very helpful, so everything was nice.
So there you are, that's best Linda can come up with. The views, which we didn't see any, and the people we met. So, anyway,
I've done it. I don't think I'll be doing it again.
No, we've come up with Erewash, and if you're put off by our video, and
please don't.
Don't be put off, you can experience this hell on earth too.
It's not hell on earth, he is horrible.
Anyway,
that's
us for tonight. Nice early morning, and get back out of here, back to the Trent. So it's going to take us a day and a half to get back down again, probably. But as long as
the whole day, if we just get up very early,
yeah,
and we carry on and on and on and on.
But as I've turned round already and facing that way, every second I do going that way, I'll get happier and happier. Anyway, there we go.
I'll remind him of that tomorrow.
So that's our day. That's our day for today. Morning, folks. Well, the sun's out, and I'm in a much more cheerful mood today for going back down the Erewash Canal. It's quite handy where the mooring is. There's a water point, L-sand point, a nice loos. So we've sorted out the services, everything apart from a bin, which we needed. But I was going to do a quick history of this place before we move, because it's actually quite interesting. If you look behind me, there is the remains, very small remains, of the Cromerton Canal. That used to go 14 or 15 miles that way, right up to the foothills of the Peak District in Derbyshire. Apparently it was a beautiful canal and a real loss to the system. Not only that, we have over there, if the sun isn't dazzling, that's the entrance to the Nottingham Canal, also closed. There's the toll office, you can still see there on the right there. So we've got the toll office and the Nottingham Canal, and this was a really important place for the three canals. The Cromford actually starts or ends just below that lock there, so strictly speaking we're on the few hundred metres of the Cromford, and it was a massively important industrial area with joining of three big canals and lots of interesting stuff going on. Now sadly just a remnant. Oh well, right, let's get off. The Erewash does look much nicer in the sunshine. After that last lock it's cleared up a bit of the weed. I mean there's loads all the way down. But yeah, the sun's shining. There's a boat behind which has been helping us over there. Yeah, you can just see him coming through that little gap. And that really helps with the lock, speeds us up. And when we get to the lock, we had one we had to bash into it with a boat to try to get it undone because the paddle on the up gate just wouldn't shut properly. So hopefully with 2 boats and 6 people we'll be able to open it going the other way. Anyway, Linda has just bought me something superb.
Time out.
Right, tea time. Just came through a very weedy bit, you can see, very narrow. Boat behind me slowed right down to get through, I think. It was one boat, thick reeds both sides. It's fine, channel in the middle works. And the next lock is 5-10 minutes yet, but this is the one that sticks really badly because the, well you'll see, one of the paddles, it just wasn't closing on the gate, and it was just a jet of water and it was filling the lock faster than it could empty. So we'll see how it goes, but I think with 2 boats we might have to tie them to the gates and try and open the gates that way. 2 gates, 6 or 7 adults pulling, we'll get out. Much better than being by yourself, that's for sure. Anyway, this is what's in front. I'll just twiddle it around and show you what's in front. As you can see, it's quite picturesque. I did do a bit of a downer on this canal yesterday. I weren't a happy bunny. I was sick of a weed. But hey, don't let me put you off. Come and experience it yourself, folks. And there really is an interesting history at the top, like I said this morning. So this is the lock where I'm predicting a bit of trouble. It's so much better having 2 boats and 2 crews, so we should be able to be alright. But it's going to be a bit hard to open that bottom gate when we try and empty it. So, fun and games ahead. Well, we got through that alright. It didn't seem to be leaking the paddle as bad as yesterday. I mean, it was leaking. I moved it up and down a couple of times. It was jammed solid and something suddenly gave, so maybe it just restricted the water flow a bit. But it still took 4 of us pushing on one gate and pushing hard on one gate to get it to move. But I thought it'd take more than that, so I'm quite pleased. And having done that one, there's another lock straight ahead, so they come fast and furious on this bit of canal. I've not been down to weed hatch yet, so bonus, bonus, bonus. So we're in Potter's Lock, lock 69, and I cut a load of weed around a prop, 2 plastic bags, small plastic bag and a sweet wrap to be fair, and a boat came the other way just as we were passing 2 boats and there's a whole load of weed. So I picked something up and managed to get past. The boat behind us who's coming with us on this trip seemed to get stuck and we haven't seen them. So we've opened the lock, we're waiting for them. I've done the weed hatch. Hopefully they'll be turning up behind me in a short while. Oh well. So they caught us upwards in the end of the last lock, completely stuck on the mud, and a massive big piece of cloth wrapped around their prop meant they couldn't move. It's good for us. We waited in the lock for quite a long time for them because 1, it's convenient to go in 2s, but 2, we had lunch on, nice big bacon batch and a cup of tea. So we made the use, nobody else around, so we made the best use of a nice lunch stop in the lock while they dug their boat out. Oh, anyway, making good progress now. Carry on down, not sure how far we'll get tonight, we'll see. So that really is a lovely view of Sandy Acre Church. Very imposing, just a beautiful building. and we're going to stop here for the night. It's very near well, there's a dentist here, and Linda's toothache's cropped up again, and she's got an appointment for tomorrow morning, so she's very happy. Well, not happy about a toothache. Very low bridges, reminds me of a Stort after Duck. And you get a better view now we're closer of that lovely, lovely church on the hill. Beautiful. So single channel really now. You don't want to meet a boat here because there's so much thick weed at the side. If you go off that centre track, your prop gets completely filled up. So hopefully, there's very little traffic on here, but you can see that just one central route through there. So we just got to get to the next bridge and find a mooring just after that. And that's 5-6 minute walk from the dentist Linda needs in the morning. So early-ish end for us, we could have a nice evening. Won't be quite as nice as Linda with toothache. We'll have a nice evening and ready for walk to the dentist tomorrow morning. It's been a very good day really. So all my earlier comments on the Erewash Canal, just take them with a pinch of salt. I was in a funny mood. Really enjoyed today.
So you've changed your mind, have you, about the Erewash?
Partly.
I said you would. I said a little
Partly.
Blue sky, yellow sun, and it changes everything.
I've only been down the weed hatch 3 times today.
Well, that's better than doing 6. Look on the bright side. I've got toothache, you haven't. I'm going to use the Baker medication method tonight to calm it down.
Oh yes. Is it in bottled form?
Bottled red form.
We got some whiskey. Okay, Linda's not up for that. It works for toothache. Anyway, not long now, the bridge is just around the next bend I think, and then it's to try and find a mooring. Obviously you can't moor here, it's Reed City. I mean, look at it. So this is Springfield Mill. When was it started, Linda?
Erected 1888.
And it's now been tastefully changed into apartments and flats and things.
Beautiful, really done nicely.
I mean, so many places like that have just been demolished. And it's a real travesty, really. And in front of that boat, or behind that blue boat there, is where we're mooring tonight. And it's good access to the dentist and a nice little quiet spot. Apart from the police sirens and traffic. So Linda's got a dentist appointment at 10 to 10 tomorrow, and we're moored quite close to the town centre, 5 minutes walk. We didn't really like it, very noisy, so we've moved down to this lock. It's about another 8-minute walk, not too far. Yeah, the road's noisy in the background, but it eased off from the night. We were moored here 2 nights ago and thoroughly enjoyed it. So that's us done for the evening. See what tomorrow brings. Morning all. We moored here 2 or 3 days ago on our way up the Erewash, and it was absolutely chucking down with rain. And this is this morning's view. Now that is a bit nicer, isn't it? Linda's making some tea. How good is that? And we're right by a lock, and another boat set off, so we sort of jumped on the bare tails and got in the lock with them, speed things up a bit. So that helped. But you know, I've done 100 yards and already the engine's struggling because the prop's full of junk again. Yeah, it's going to be an hour and a half tour off this canal, and it's been mixed, shall we say, but I'll be very glad to have to stop having to keep getting up and down the weed out to get more. Oh, here it's struggling there. Right, better go and sort it. So that's what I've just pulled off the prop and the rudder. There's a plastic bag and a whole load of stuff just wrapped around. Masts, it's been like all the way. Oh well, at the last lock before Trent Gate, which is the end of the Erewash, and glad we did it, I suppose, in a way, but I won't be sad to say goodbye to it. So we're approaching the last lock. Well, there's one right at the end onto the Trent, but this is the last lock really on the Erewash.
Penultimate.
Yeah, the penultimate. Well done, Linda. And well, she hasn't got a mic on. Anyway, there's a big factory unit. Just gives some idea of the industrial nature of this canal. Well, all canals. I mean, they were built for industry, and it's our good fortune that so many are still open. Although in many cases, of course, it's the pressure groups and the enthusiasts who do all the hard work. I mean, the Erewash was supposed to close years ago. So well done for all those volunteers who've fought for it to keep it open. I hope if you're one of those volunteers and you watch this vlog, you don't get too cross at me for struggling on this canal. We're nearly at the end of the Erewash now. Just gone through Bridge 2. Obviously Bridge 1 left and the lock, but we're hoping to moor just here, use the cafe, possibly get some water, facilities, whatever, and have a break for lunch. We'll see. And then I'll clean the prop one final time, because the Trent is huge and a bit of a flow on it. I don't want to be out there with a jammed up or gummed up prop and rudder. So yeah, nearly done. So we've made it to the end of the Erewash.
We're just before the final lock.
Which is over here. There's the final lock under that bridge here on the Trent. And there's a lovely cafe down there. So, we're going to a lovely cafe for lunch. Well folks, that's the end of our trip up the Erewash Canal.
Yep, just about to go down the final lock. We've got all the water, rubbish done, all the jobs done, had a lovely lunch.
And I've done what I had to do, is go back down the weed hatch and get the last of the weed off before we finally hit the Trent. So well, we have mixed feelings about this. I'd be intrigued to know, for those who've done the Erewash, what you think. If you love it and think we've been unfair, or I've been unfair, leave your comments. If you think I'm spot on right, leave your comments. If you're thinking of doing it, haven't done it, whatever, I'd really appreciate seeing your comments on this vlog. Anyway, if you've enjoyed it, you know what to do.
Press like.
And subscribe if you don't already. See you folks.
Bye.
Bye.